Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve. Is our nation on the verge of splitting apart? Are we seeing a separation between red states and blue states? Many are openly calling for just that. We're going to see the latest on calls for a national divorce and why those calls are just getting started. You are not going to want to miss this. The ultra-MAGA Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene is openly calling for a national divorce. Taking to Twitter, she wrote, quote, "We need a national divorce. We need to separate by red states and blue states and shrink the federal government. Everyone I talk to says this. From the sick and disgusting woke culture issues shoved down our throats to the Democrats' traitorous America Last policies, we are done." Now, of course, Greene's comments come on the heels of bumbling Biden's surprise visit to Ukraine, where he has once again pledged more American taxpayer money for the failed regime to the tune of $500 million. This, of course, all while Americans in eastern Ohio and western Pennsylvania are still reeling from what, in fact, may turn out to be the single worst environmental disaster in our nation's history. And just to give you further confirmation on which side our disgusting, vile legacy media is, take a look at this headline from the Philadelphia Inquirer. Trump to return to the scene of his crime when he visits Ohio toxic train wreck. It's all Trump's fault. They're actually parroting Democrat talking points. The legacy media is nothing more than a pathetic shill, an odious propaganda spewing super PAC for the Democratic Party at this point. So all of this is indeed boiling to the surface with renewed calls for secession. We're starting to hear members of Congress like Marjorie Taylor Greene call for just such a split, a national divorce. Now, of course, the typical bard of Republican rhinos, the rhinos are always so reliable, Whenever the lamestream media is circling around any target, they always give Democrat appeasing sound bites for their own adoring press. So one of the most repulsive rhinos out there, Utah Governor Spencer Cox, blasted Greene's tweet with his own saying, quote, "This rhetoric is destructive and wrong and honestly evil. We don't need a divorce. We need marriage counseling. And we need elected leaders that don't profit by tearing us apart. We can disagree without hate. Healthy conflict was critical to our nation's founding and survival." That's right. We need elected leaders who don't profit by tearing us apart. Instead, they profit by going woke, just like Utah Governor Spencer Cox.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am Governor Spencer Cox, and I have the pleasure today of hosting the first One Utah Student Town Hall. And my preferred pronouns are he, him, and his.
Yeah, that was Utah's Republican governor sharing with his state's high school representatives his pronouns. Obviously, Cox is one of the ones that Marjorie Taylor Greene would like to leave behind in our national divorce. Remember, Democrats cannot win in a number of red states like Utah. They can't win as Democrats, so they run as Republicans, like Lindsey Graham, Mitt Romney. They're Democrats who run as Republicans, but they govern as Democrats. That's basically what a rhino is, or I prefer Diablo, Democrat and all but label. Now, to put this on context, this is not the first time that Greene has called for a national divorce. Back in December of 2021, she made the very same exhortation. Back then, Greene retweeted with comment a tweet by Pedro Gonzalez, an associate editor of Chronicles magazine. And what Gonzalez did is he responded to a pathetic leftist who was reluctantly relocating from California to Florida. So this leftist tweeted out how much he loathed the politics of Florida, but he recognized that the quality of life was infinitely better there than in the ultra-leftist cesspool of California. And so this fellow, of course, Pedro Gonzalez, tweeted out in response, quote, "This guy is moving from California to Florida because he can't stand living in the mess that lib politics created, and he still has the audacity to talk down to Floridians about their politics. Libs are a cancer. They're the absolute worst people in the country." And he continued, "I support actively discriminating against transplants like this through legislation. They shouldn't be able to vote for a period, and they should have to pay a tax for their sins. So you get the gist here. He's basically advocating making these blue state transplants pay a sin tax. I love it. A sin tax to pay for the societal rot their politics cause. And they shouldn't be allowed to vote for a period of time until their leftoid brainwashing can be reversed. So Marjorie Taylor Greene back then tweeted out in response, quote, "That's all possible in a national divorce scenario. After Democrat voters and big donors ruin a state like California, you would think it wise to stop them from doing it to another great state like Florida." And she went on, when she got some comparable pushback from Democrats, like she got from rhinos this time around, she wrote, quote, "You know what's necessary about threatening a divorce? It's a wake-up call to the one offending the other that they've had enough. Happy marriages are the result of two committed people working together, resolving differences, and changing behavior that hurts the other. But the state of our union is currently far from happy. And I really don't care how many Democrats I offend by calling it out. For your information, you like our red states because of our politics, and it's our Republican politics that create the very environments you like. So I will not apologize when I muse or discuss ideas that stop Democrat voters and donors who are moving out of the shitholes they created with their Democrat votes and donations from ruining great red states by bringing your disastrous ideas and destructive votes with you. For your information, we Republicans don't want your blue votes ruining our red home states. We don't want high taxes, high crime, high amounts of perverse school curriculums, loss of freedoms, and authoritarian big government in our red states. That's what you Dems vote for. If you're so offended by my comments about national divorce, then take a real hard look inward and ask yourself why it's sadly such a popular idea with Republicans. And it is. We're going to find out just how popular secessionist sentiments are among Republicans and Democrats. Wait until you see this. But gang, did you notice that big tech companies today are masquerading as privacy companies? They tell you just fix your privacy settings and you're good to go, right? Yeah. We're supposed to believe that the big bad tech wolf has now turned into our sweet grandma. Big tech literally feeds on your information. Collecting and selling off your data isn't big tech's nature. They can't stop themselves from looking at what you do online. Now, the beauty here is that all we need to do to hide from big tech is hide our IP address, our unique Internet Protocol address. And that is where our amazing friends over at ExpressVPN come in. ExpressVPN enables you to hide your online presence by encrypting 100% of your network so no one can track your online activity. And the best part is how easy it is to use. It literally just takes a click to protect all your devices. And they got a limited time special offer for all of us. Click on that link below or visit expressvpn.com/Turley to get 3 extra months free with my exclusive link. That's right. You get 3 months absolutely free simply by clicking on the link below. But it's a limited time offer, so don't wait. Click on that link below right now and secure your online presence today. Poll after poll shows that secessionist sentiments in our nation are stronger today than they've ever been since the mid-19th century. Perhaps the most shocking poll was conducted by Brightline Watch in conjunction with YouGov, and it asked respondents, would you support or oppose your state seceding from the United States to join a new union, list of states in new union? And the answers were shocking because the survey found that support for secession had increased among every single partisan group, but most particularly among Southern Republicans. Support for secession among Southern Republicans was around 50% back in January of 2021. But that number leapt up to 66% of June of that year in just 6 months. But it's not just Southern Republicans. 47% of Democrats in the Pacific Northwest want to secede. And in the heartland places like Illinois and Ohio and Wisconsin, 43% of independents wanted to secede. So overall, this YouGov survey found that 40% of Americans want to secede as of June of 2021. And again, these findings were corroborated by previous polls that show that half of all Republicans in the South support secession. And one of the reasons why I think we're seeing this surge in secessionist support in the South particularly is precisely because of what Pedro Gonzalez and Marjorie Taylor Greene are saying. Red states are flourishing and blue states are imploding. They're degenerating. And we don't want their societal and cultural rot to infest our vibrant red states. In many respects, I think it's that simple. We don't trust our national institutions anymore because we see them as having become rotten to the core by virtue of their liberal contagions from blue states. And we want to collectively thrive apart from such woke waste. So I think what Marjorie Taylor Greene is calling for here really is just the beginning. I think when it comes to red states declaring their independence from rotting blue states, we ain't seen nothing yet. As always, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. You will definitely want to check out my latest video on Biden's humiliating trip to Ukraine. You're not going to want to miss it, so make sure to click on that link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.